7 years is not a joke. 7 years is medical school in some countries. 7 years is long enough to grow from naive to wise. After listening to my story, please follow, like, and share. It might help someone. Because there are others in the same situation as me out there who are looking for a solution. Kelechi, it's been 6 years. When are you going to propose?
I am not ready. I want to surprise you properly. I didn't plan it like this. I have been meaning to tell you. I can't pretend anymore.
Pretending?
I think it's best if I go now.
Fine, just leave.
I'm sorry.
I did everything for him and now he is leaving for another. If a man doesn't love you, no matter what you do, he won't stay. I am Amara Okeke and I just discovered the man I shared 7 years with didn't love me.
7 years is long enough to grow from naive to wise, or from patient to foolish. And Amara Okeke had invested 7 of them in one man. She met Kelechi during her second year at the University of Lagos. It was raining the day they spoke for the first time. Lagos rain, aggressive, dramatic, disrespectful. She had been stranded outside the Faculty of Social Sciences, hugging her books to her chest like they were the only stable thing in her life. He appeared with an umbrella and a grin. "Economic students shouldn't drown," he said. "The country is already suffering." She laughed. That was his gift, humor that disarmed you before sense could intervene. He walked her to her hostel. They exchanged numbers. Conversations flowed easily. He was studying architecture, ambitious, sharp, with dreams bigger than his bank account. In those early days, love felt clean. They studied together in the library, ate 500 naira rice at the cafeteria, shared future fantasies under dim hostel lights. He would trace patterns on her palm and whisper, "You're not just my girlfriend. You're my partner." Partner. That word settled in her chest like a promise. After graduation, reality came wearing unpaid bills. Amara got a job first, junior analyst at a financial advisory firm in Victoria Island. The salary wasn't breathtaking, but it breathed. Kelechi struggled. Interviews that led nowhere. Contracts that almost happened. Months that ended in excuses. Amara did what loyal women do when they believe in potential. She adjusted. She paid more rent when they moved in together in Yaba. She told herself it was temporary. She bought groceries without announcing it. She sent him motivational texts before interviews. She rewrote his CV 3 times. When he finally secured a solid position at a real estate development firm in Lekki, he lifted her in the air inside their tiny living room. "You see? You never left me." "I wasn't going to," she said. And she meant it. Years passed. Their apartment upgraded. Their wardrobes improved. They attended weddings together. People introduced her as future misses at family gatherings. Aunties would ask, "When is it your turn?" Kelechi always smiled politely. "Soon. Year 3. Let me stabilize. Year 4. You know my mother wants something respectable. Year 5. Let me buy land first. Year 6. I want to surprise you properly. Year 7. Silence stretched longer. Her friends began asking harder questions. "Are you sure you're not a placeholder?" She defended him fiercely. "He's not like that." Love makes brilliant women become defense lawyers for mediocre behavior. Then one Tuesday afternoon, while reviewing quarterly reports at work, her phone began vibrating nonstop. Her colleague Chioma leaned over. "Why is your phone trending?" Amara frowned and picked it up. It was her cousin. "Call me now." Another message followed. "Is this not your Kelechi?" Her stomach tightened. She opened Instagram, and there he was, in cream Agbada, standing beside a woman she had never seen before. The woman wore champagne lace and a smile so polished it could reflect sunlight. The caption read, "4 months with you and I'm sure. When you know. 4 months. 4 months." 7 years collapsed into a statistic. Her ears rang. The office noise faded. Pre-wedding photos. Wedding date in 3 weeks. Hashtag Kelewed Zara. Zara. Who was Zara? For months met while she was meal prepping and paying PHCN bills, he was rehearsing vows with someone else. She called him. No answer. Again. Voicemail. Then came the text. "Baby, please don't react emotionally." I was going to explain. Explain what? The Photoshop, the venue deposit, the introduction ceremony. She left work early. She drove to his Lekki apartment, the one she helped him furnish when he wasn't liquid yet. The couch she partly paid for. The dining set she chose after comparing prices online. He opened the door looking pale. Amara, she walked in calmly. Dangerously calmly. So, she said, placing her bag on the table, destiny works fast. He sighed. It's not what you think. Oh, good. Because what I think is that you dated me for 7 years and proposed to someone else in 4 months. He ran a hand through his hair. It just happened. Ah, the universal anthem of cowards. It just happened. She's different, he continued. Her family, there it was. Money entered the conversation wearing a bata. Say it clearly, Amara said quietly. My parents prefer her, he admitted. They think she's more suitable. Suitable. The kind of word that sounds respectable but smells like betrayal. Her father was a retired lecturer. Zara's father owned multiple construction companies in Abuja. 7 years of loyalty versus 4 months of leverage. I was with you when you were jobless, Amara said. I know. I paid rent. I know. I believed in you. I know. And now I'm unsuitable? He looked ashamed. But not ashamed enough. I didn't plan it like this. No one plans to look like a villain. They just make selfish decisions and pray history forgets. Do you love her? She asked. He hesitated. That was answer enough. Amara nodded slowly. Okay. He blinked. Okay. Yes, she said evenly. Marry your destiny. He reached for her arm. Don't do this. I'm not doing anything, she replied. You already did it. She walked out without raising her voice. Because sometimes the most powerful exit is quiet. The wedding was loud. Luxurious. Overdecorated. Videos flooded social media. Champagne towers. Slow-motion laughter. Zara changing 3 outfits. Comments poured in. God when. Perfect couple. Love wins. Amara muted everything. She did not cry in public. But at night, grief visited without permission. 7 years replayed like a documentary. Every sacrifice. Every defense she mounted on his behalf. Every time she silenced her intuition. And then something shifted. Pain can destroy you. Or it can promote you. She chose promotion. She enrolled in an executive finance program. Took night classes. Built connections. Pitched bold ideas at work. Within a year, she secured a multi-million naira deal for her firm. Within 2 years, she was promoted to head of strategy. Within 3 years, she launched her own financial advisory company. Success did not erase the past, but it redefined her future. And somewhere in Abuja, under the glow of chandelier lights, destiny began to show its invoice. Marriage, Amara would later learn, is very sweet when financed by other people's expectations. Kelechi's wedding to Zara was not just a union, it was a merger. Her father, Chief Balogun, was a well-known developer in Abuja real estate circles. His name carried weight in rooms where deals were whispered over aged whiskey. His money carried even more. At first, everything glittered. Zara posted honeymoon pictures from Santorini. Kelechi smiled in crisp linen shirts beside blue water that looked photoshopped by God himself. The comments section overflowed with admiration. Power couple. Love found you. When you know, you know. Ah yes. When you know. But knowledge has layers. And the deeper layer began revealing itself 3 months into the marriage. It started subtly. Chief Balogun would suggest projects for Kelechi's company to prioritize. Zara would casually remind him that her father had opened doors for him. Your lucky daddy believes in you, she once said over dinner, swirling wine in her glass. Lucky. Kelechi swallowed his pride like bad medicine. At family gatherings in Abuja, conversations often revolved around investments Zara's father had facilitated. Kelechi's own achievements became footnotes. And slowly, without announcement, the power dynamic tilted. The house they lived in, bought by Zara's family. The SUV, gifted by Zara's father. The expansion contract Kelechi bragged about, negotiated by Zara's uncle. Every success came with a watermark. Meanwhile, Amara was becoming something entirely different. Her firm, AO Strategic Advisory, grew aggressively. She secured clients across Lagos and Port Harcourt. She hired smart young analysts. She mentored women who reminded her of who she used to be. Brilliant, hopeful, dangerously loyal. She bought her own apartment in Ikoyi. Not co-signed. Not contributed. Owned. The day she received the keys, she stood in the empty living room and exhaled 7 years of history. She did not need revenge. She needed peace. And peace, unlike men, did not require persuasion. 2 years into Kelechi's marriage, cracks became fractures. Zara enjoyed influence. She did not enjoy compromise. Arguments became frequent. "You're too sensitive," she would snap. "And you're too entitled," he once muttered. A mistake that resulted in 3 days of icy silence and a call from her father reminding him about respect. Kelechi began to feel something uncomfortable. Small. He had traded loyalty for leverage. And leverage came with interest. Meanwhile, Amara was invited to speak at the West African Investment and Strategy Summit in Abuja, one of the largest corporate gatherings in the region. CEOs, policymakers, venture capitalists. The room would be heavy with influence. She prepared meticulously. The day of her keynote address, she wore a tailored ivory suit, sharp, elegant, unbothered. Confidence fit her better than heartbreak ever had. She spoke about sustainable growth, financial independence, and the danger of building success on borrowed foundations. The audience applauded. Standing at the back of the room was Kelechi. He had come representing his firm. He hadn't known she would be speaking. When she stepped down from the stage, the room buzzed around her. Executives shook her hand. Cameras flashed. She looked different. Not just physically. Grounded. Unreachable. He waited until the crowd thinned before approaching. "Amara." She turned slowly. For a brief second, silence acknowledged history. "Mr. Destiny," she said smoothly. He attempted a smile. It struggled. "You were incredible up there." "Thank you." There was no tremor in her voice. No leftover ache. Just composure. "Can we talk?" he asked. She considered it for exactly 3 seconds. Coffee. 15 minutes. They sat in the hotel cafe. The air between them was thick with unfinished chapters. "You look happy," he said carefully. "I am." He nodded slowly. "Marriage is harder than I thought." She raised an eyebrow. 4 months didn't cover the warranty? He almost laughed. "It's complicated." "Complicated usually means expensive," she replied calmly. He sighed. "There's pressure. Expectations. I don't feel like myself sometimes." "Then who do you feel like?" He didn't answer immediately. "Someone indebted." Silence. "I made a mistake," he said finally. There it was, the confession. But it did not land the way he expected. Amara did not glow with vindication. She did not smirk. She simply studied him like a closed chapter. "No," she said gently. "You made a choice." He leaned forward. "If I could go back, you can't. I still think about us." "I don't," she replied. That one hurt him. Because it was mostly true. She thought about the lesson. Not the longing. "You were there when I had nothing," he whispered. "And now?" she asked quietly. He looked down at his coffee. Now she had everything. And he had leverage. But not peace. "I was stupid," he said. "You were strategic," she corrected. "You just miscalculated." He looked up. "I regret it." Regret is heavy. It bends a man's posture. Amara finished her coffee and stood. "I loved you deeply," she said. "But loving you taught me something invaluable." "What?" "That I will never compete for my own position again." He stared at her. "I chose someone who came with benefits," he said. "And lost the one who came with loyalty," she replied calmly. She reached for her bag. "Take care of yourself, Kelechi." "Amara," she paused. "Yes. Is there any chance?" There it was. The audacity. She smiled softly. "You taught me something 7 years long." "What?" "That time is precious. And I don't recycle expired investments." She walked away. But this is not where the story ends. Because life, unlike Instagram captions, doesn't freeze at happily ever after. 6 months later, news broke quietly in business circles. Chief Balogun's company was under investigation for regulatory violations. Contracts stalled. Cash flow tightened. Suddenly, leverage became liability. Zara's lifestyle adjusted reluctantly. Arguments escalated. Blame circulated. "You were supposed to bring value too," she snapped one night. Kelechi realized something brutal. He had been chosen not for who he was, but for how he fit. And now the fit was uncomfortable. Meanwhile, Amara expanded her firm into Abuja. At a private investor dinner, she met someone new. Tosin Adebayo, venture capitalist. Measured. Observant. He listened more than he spoke, a rare species. Instead of asking about her past, he asked about her vision. Instead of being intimidated by her success, he admired it. Instead of needing her to shrink, he encouraged her expansion. Their connection was not loud. It was intentional. Dinner conversations stretched. Laughter felt unforced. Respect felt mutual. One evening, as they stood overlooking the Abuja skyline, Tosin said quietly, "I don't want to rush you, but I want you to know I see you." Not your resume. Not your influence. You. Amara felt something unfamiliar. Ease. No board meetings required. No parental approval negotiations. No strategic upgrades. Just alignment. The final time she saw Kelechi was at another industry event. He looked thinner. Quieter. Congratulations, he said, nodding toward Tosin across the room. Thank you, she replied. You look settled. I am. He hesitated. I wish I had chosen differently. She studied him carefully. Maybe, she said gently. But then I wouldn't have. That was the truth. His betrayal had refined her. His decision had forced her evolution. And sometimes, the greatest blessing is disguised as abandonment. As she walked away with Tosin's hand lightly at her back, she realized something profound. 7 years had not been wasted. They were tuition. She paid for clarity, for standards, for self-worth. And now she was no longer building men. She was building legacy. And this time, when she knew early. She knew clearly. She knew without begging. And destiny did not arrive in 4 months. It arrived when she was no longer waiting.